All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome in. So in this one, I wanted to really address some of the Danielle Hunter trade buzz. That's something that's been a pretty big talking point over the last, I want to say, week. And I've been asked a couple times, like, hey, should the New York Jets be interested here? Obviously, we've seen Danielle Hunter's production in the 4-3 system. Complete beast. Factor in that Danielle Hunter's only 28 years old, still a lot of really good football left in the tank, assuming he stays healthy, and that the Jets are in win-now mode. You can say, like, hey, it's worth a call. It's worth, Joe Douglas picking up the phone and seeing what's going on with the situation. Here's what we know so far. The Vikings are, in fact, fielding trade calls for Hunter. They are open to it. They would like to retain Hunter, but obviously if they're fielding calls, if they're listening to offers and, they're not shutting things down immediately, there is some truth to it, right? Minnesota, it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibilities in their minds to trade Danielle Hunter. We also know that Hunter... Oh, by the way, he came up in trade rumors last season. I remember he was actually a trade target for the Jets a year ago. There was a bunch of rumors, a lot of supposed interest there. With him coming off the edge, of course, this was before drafting Will McDonald, drafting Jermaine Johnson, and we were really only looking at Carl Lawson coming back and Bryce Huff. So it's kind of ironic that a year later, we're still kind of talking about the potential of Hunter playing on a new team next season. Now, we also know that he's holding out from mandatory minicamp. The Vikings expected that, and we have to ask the reason why. Why is a 28-year-old, somebody who... frankly has set the league on fire a couple times. I mean, even last season it was a solid year, 10.5 sacks coming off some injured seasons. Hunter, again, if he's healthy, if he's on the field, he's shown the versatility. He's played as a 4-3 D end. He's lined up as a 3-4 outside linebacker. He's had success in both schemes, both fronts. And I mean, you look at him just from a pure size standpoint. I mean, the dude is just, physically insane. The upside with Danielle Hunter, like if you're a defensive minded head coach, if you're a D-line coach, a linebacker coach, you're looking at Danielle and you're saying, oh my God, like we need to get this guy on the roster. But here's the deal. Hunter wants more money. He wants a new contract. And that's something that right now, the Vikings just haven't been able to, him and the Vikings haven't been able to come to an agreement with. So there is that looming question. How much does he want? How long of a deal does he want as well? Is he looking for a 4 or 5 year contract? Just a lot of security there, a lot of guaranteed money. If he duplicates a similar season to what we saw a year ago, I mean, with what DNs are getting paid nowadays, it's probably going to be a pretty hefty contract. He's an unrestricted free agent in 2024, so only 1 year left on his current contract. He does have some void years that the Vikings have to pay him, but he's a $13.1 million cap hit for the year, but his base salary is it's just under 5. I believe it's 4.9. So I think this is kind of where I stand when we look at potentially acquiring a Danielle Hunter, somebody that the Vikings are still high on. They're not, closing the door on an extension. They just haven't reached one at this point in time. It's not like the Vikings don't want him. They're like, oh, please, we just got to get rid of him. We'll trade him to anybody. The trade package, I do feel like will be pretty high. And we're looking at the Jets draft picks right now. The Aaron Rodgers thing, 2, probably going to be a 1 if Rodgers is healthy and on the field. Do we want to be in a position to where we don't have a first round pick, potentially don't have a mid round picks and a 3rd and a 4? Does a trade require future picks? So like diving into the following year's draft? I don't know. I think some people would probably say, yeah, let's do it. They're unproven players. Some people would probably argue against it. Hey, let's hang on to the draft picks. These are cheap, really quality players, high upside, talented players that we're getting on cheap contracts, guaranteed for 5 years with the 5th year option. Best case scenario. And because Hunter wants the big money deal, it's safe to assume that he's probably going to get one with his new team if he's traded. And we're looking at the Jets' current situation. I mean, we have to restructure the Aaron Rodgers contract, still in the works. We have to extend our own all-pro player, one of the best defensive tackles in football, in Quentin Williams. That is still not done. I just do... although Douglas has been a little aggressive these past couple seasons, right, trying to go after a guy in Tyreek Hill, like Calais Campbell, Odell Beckham, Aaron Rodgers. He's got a few hits, he's got a few misses so far. I wouldn't put it past JD, but I think given the current situation, I'm just looking at it as pretty unlikely. I think the price tag I think is just going to be too high for where the Jets are currently at, and then B, the list, the to-do list, if you will, is just too long for Joe Douglas, right? We got to handle the Rodgers thing, handle the Quinnen Williams thing, and then maybe address other positions of need, whether it's a Quan Alexander or a free safety here. I think those things come before trading more picks away, taking on a player who has dealt with some injuries in the past, not small little week long injuries, big time injuries. We're talking like neck, long time IR status types of things. So to me it's a bit of a risk. It's a big time price tag, and I just don't think the Jets are going to be be a serious candidate in the Danielle Hunter market. I could be wrong though. I could be wrong. So, and another thing too that we have to keep in mind, the Jets try to keep everything sealed super tight, so I don't know if there's going to be, a report saying, oh, the Jets have major interest in Danielle. We'll see how it plays out. Obviously, the Jets just, packed it away for the 40 days before training camp. They arrive a week early. So it's not like we're going to have, a ton of like Joe Douglas press conferences or Robert Saleh press conferences where the question can get asked here. So that's my 2 cents on it. I would love to hear yours down below in the comment section. I think the Jets probably should pass on this right now, although the thought of Danielle Hunter lining up right next to Quinnen Williams on one side of the D line is just an absolute nightmare for opposing quarterbacks. And also, if you want to like split up the blocking responsibilities and line up like, Carl Lawson, then Quinnen Williams, and then maybe like a Al Woods or a Quentin Jefferson, and then Danielle Hunter on the opposite side, it's like, man, somebody's going to get a one-on-one matchup in that given lineup. Who's it going to be? If they are on one side, of course, you can kind of like swing protections over and whatnot. But no, the potential is insane. But I think for me, the price tag is just a bit too high. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. And as always, go Jets.